it's your girl RP. Welcome back to part 2 of decluttering all my makeup. This edition, eyeshadow palettes. I'm excited. I bought this. It's a Z palette. I believe it's from Adept Cosmetics. I'm not positive though because they slammed a giant Amazon sticker on it. I got it cheaper than retail though because the packaging was opened and damaged, and I like taking things out of landfills and saving some money, so I'm using it. But I have quite the setup. My most important part of my setup you probably saw in the background. What just happened? Oh no! Okay, crisis averted. I fixed it. Okay, well hopefully third time's the charm and I'm letting it load. Apparently not. I'm gonna have to go deal with my Wi-Fi. But I'm gonna show you the rest of the setup first, and then hopefully I can get Bob's Burgers on. Because I need some form of background noise, and Bob is my background noise. I love Bob. But here's the setup. The eyeshadow palettes. We've got my knockoff Coca-Cola. We've got the fancy ring light. Paper towels, alcohol, because I'm inevitably gonna break one of these, parchment, hair iron, Paris Hilton cutting board to save my counter, and then I've also got this like little depotting kit. It's got like a little stabby thing, a little magnet, and then the Z palette. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is open up the Z palette. It is from Adept Cosmetics, and it is this beautiful peachy color. It's reading a little more like muted on camera, but it is a gorgeous peach. It's got a big old magnet, a piece of acrylic, and another magnet. So I am going to get our first eyeshadow palette, and let's get started. Our first palette is the Covergirl Eye Enhancer in the shade Bellini Spritz. It retails for about $7.49, but they're always on sale. Here is it swatched. I am only going to keep the 2 shimmer shades. They unfortunately don't have names, but I'm going to be keeping the champagne-y one as well as the pinky one. But let's get to depotting those. Alright, depotting this first one, not my best work video-wise. As you can see, it's a little off-centered. I was also struggling from the get-go. I immediately broke it and started patting it down with the spatula, which did work to an extent, but I eventually pressed it with a paper towel. But I just could not get the spatula to fit in the groove between the plastic and like the pan. So I gave up and I went and grabbed a knife and tried that. So as you can see, I'm really struggling trying to get this shade out. But I do eventually get it, so yay. There it is. We're gonna get a piece of parchment, put it in there, and we're gonna try and heat some of the goo off. So there I am pressing it on the lowest setting of my straightener, and I'm gonna scratch as much of that goop off as I can before I pop the little metal backing on so it'll stick to the tray. Alright, there it is. Shade 1 is done. This second shade came out so much easier. There it is already. So same thing, heating it up. There's the empty palette, throwing that away. And once she's heated up enough, we're gonna scratch that back, put the new backing on, and pop it into the palette. Next up, we have a MAC Powder Kiss Single in the shade Give a Glam. Here it is swatched, and I will be keeping this. I think it's a great shade to darken up your crease. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to try and pry this gray bit out with the knife. It does work pretty well. It kind of popped right out. Alright, there it is. I'm gonna now try and take that gray backing off. I'm sure there's a very easy way to do it. They're clearly designed to be taken off, but here I am putting it in the parchment, trying to heat up the plastic to get that pan out of there. I gave it like one more shot and then decided instead of risking shattering the whole thing that I have the metal backings, so I'll just clean up the back and pop a backing on it. That way I can just pop it straight into the palette. My second and last single is Moondust from Urban Decay. It is in the shade Solstice, and I am like obsessed with this color. I wear it on the lid by itself all the time. Like, look at that. But this one popped out of the case super easy, so just popped it out with my knife. And at this point, I'm still heating them up, so. All right, time to scratch off the back and then clean it up, and we're gonna add it to the palette. All right, moving right along, we've got our first palette from MAC. It is the Stranger Things palette. This is another palette that I was lucky enough to be gifted by a family member. Here it is swatched, and I'm only going to be keeping a few of these shades, so let's run through them really fast. First up, we've got Demogorgon, Spores, The Void, Code Red, and Creel House. The other three colors are pretty, but I find they look a little muddy on the lid, so I'm not going to keep those ones. Now, this palette was giving me trouble from the get-go. As you can see, I have immediately broken the Void. So there I am pressing it down, trying to fix it before I go back in with my knife. There we go, finally start to get it out. It is a little warped now, but nothing we can't press and fix. So just gonna add some alcohol to that and then press it down real good with a paper towel. I gave up on heating them up at this point and just put some alcohol in the back and realized that gooey stuff would scratch right off. So that was my strategy since then. Next up, we're prying out Code Red, same thing, I broke it. I find that MAC, the matte shades from them, they do break pretty easily, so I've had to repress quite a few MAC matte powders. Alright, Creel House came out nice and easy, popped right out, didn't shatter, which was awesome. I love this shade, it is a very pretty metallic blue. And then now we're doing Spores, again a very pretty metallic shade. Broke a little bit, but not as nearly as bad as the mattes and came out a lot easier as well. I'm popping that in with the shimmers. If you can't tell, I kind of reorganized the palette a bit. Decided to put all the mattes on one side of the acrylic and the shimmers on the other. And last but not least, I'm popping out Demogorgon. That one also came out fairly easy. Had to repress it just a little bit. But I find that this is a great transition shade or like a no makeup day kind of shade just to darken up your crease a little bit. Next up is the Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon palette. It's from the first Sailor Moon collaboration with Colourpop. Look at the front. It's just so cool how it like nostalgic how it just like changes, but here is the shades. I'm gonna be honest, I do not use all of these. You can see some of them have a pretty good dent in them, but a lot I don't even touch. With the Colourpop palettes, I kind of went for a different strategy since they're cardboard, a bit of a cheaper material. I was actually able to like rip the pan out from the palette itself. So there I am trying to just pry the packaging apart. Eventually just brute forced it, used some scissors, ripped it as hard as I could, and it did come out. It was at this point that I realized I hadn't swatched any of them. So here's the first row. I'm gonna swatch that really fast. Very pretty. I'm actually gonna keep all 4 of those shades. Here is that second row. I am also going to be keeping all 4 shades of these. And here is that third row. These ones I'm not going to keep. I honestly don't really go into them at all. So at first I tried using the knife, then I quickly realized I could just bend the packaging and they'd pop straight out. So that's what I did. I really wish the MAC one came out as easy as these, because this was super easy and none of them broke, and honestly, it was awesome. There wasn't like any goo, nothing. All right, I'm gonna give them a quick little pat to just kind of reset those powders. And I realized they were already set on a magnet, so I don't need to put any backings on these. So we're gonna pop them in no particular order. We've got Shining Moon, Twilight Flash, Silver Crystal, Moon Castle, Full Moon, Silver Millennium, Mare Serenatus, and Luna. Our next palette is also from Colourpop. It is the Muppets Holidays, Holidays, Holidays palette. As you can see, this one is pretty well loved, especially that dark blue shade as well as that green shade. But here's the first row. We are going to be keeping Icy Patch, Snow Business, Holiday Party Time, and Celebrate Moi. So all of those shades. In row 2, we have Meep Meep, Ice to See You, Frazzled, Hot Holidays, but I'm not gonna keep any of them, but those 2 foil shades, that orange and that gold, are stunning. I'm not gonna use them. In row 3, we've got Be Cool, Stunt Santa, Being Green, and Peace on Earth. I'm gonna be keeping Stunt Santa, Being Green, and Peace on Earth. And our 4th and final row, we've got Party Animal, Winter Wear, Festive, and Celebrate in Style. So I'm going to be keeping Party Animal and Winter Wear. The Festive shade is stunning on camera. I don't like it in person. So just like that Sailor Moon palette, I'm going to rip it apart with my bare hands and some scissors and just give it my best shot, try and save as many shadows as I can. Alright, so good thing I wasn't keeping Celebrate in Style because that one immediately shattered, but all of the rest of them popped straight out. So if you guys haven't caught on already, I really like shimmers, hence why there are so many more shimmers than mattes, and this palette was no exception. I'm keeping mostly shimmers. And glitters. Can't forget glitter. Next up, in our last and final palette we're actually depotting, is the MAC Botanic Panic palette. Here it is. It is very old. The mattes are pretty broken, a lot of them. Please don't judge me. First row, we have Aqua, Marigold Digger, Floral A-Go-Go, all thorns, no rose. I'm only keeping Aqua and Floral A-Go-Go. In row 2, we have Surf USA, which is the most beautiful teal, Royal Woo, Picnic Panic, and Botanic Panic. I'm gonna also keep Royal Woo and Picnic Panic. And that last row, we've got Magnetic Field, Keep on Twinkling, Jam Session, and Magic Mushroom. I'm gonna keep this whole row. Alrighty, well, I am officially done. I'm ready for bed. But thank you so much for watching. If you had a good time, please do all the YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe. Pretty please. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.